I'm Stefan, I'm CTO of Hydrosphere.io. We are mostly focused on the productionizing machine learning pipelines. So it's pretty new field. It's pretty wild. And besides engineering research that we are doing constantly, how to optimize them, how to provide better user experience for data scientists and machine learning engineers, there are other challenges like for socializing the ideas and getting a support from the thought leaders of the community here. Just because it's pretty new and right now everybody is focused on mostly on training machine learning models and educating themselves how to even apply the machine learning. And as far as jumping a little bit ahead of the crowd, yeah, it's very challenging even to find the right research articles in academia, and yeah, we're crunching very low-level stuff to do that, to make things right. So for scaling, I would say so to scale just an ordinary traffic, it's not a big deal because company delivering a high load software for years. But scaling the traffic for machine learning, it's a little bit different challenge. Yeah, we could use best practices from that world, but it should be somehow rethought and rebuilt for the data intensive and machine learning intensive applications. Okay, so for example, GPU versus CPU. Yeah. So the GPU is not widely used in production. Okay, it's used for training, but it's not like a best practice right now. And how to simplify, how to make it cost effective to use it in production. It might be an interesting challenge for cloud providers, because it definitely doesn't make sense to do it yourself. Yeah, so it's probably something that will come pretty soon, probably in AWS conference in 2 weeks. So the challenge is in scaling the data flows. When you can compare, so you have a Java application, it receives like a HTTP request and it's pretty tiny, it just applies some business logics and return a result. So it's pretty stateless, and so there are best practices how to deal with that. But with machine learning, if you receive like an image request that just like some binary data, so it's the data is much more is bigger bottleneck rather than computing power. How to provide this flow. So as I mentioned, it's challenging to scale the data flow rather than computing power behind that. So this is like the challenge I see, and there is no exact solution for that. So we all like building and research like in flat buffers, in other inter-process communication. So how to build the microservices and minimize the latency and data movement between these microservices, because in a data-intensive applications it becomes a real bottleneck, and for scaling data-intensive applications. So yeah. Yeah, so functional programming. Yeah, of course, so we use functional programming when we develop our systems, we develop our programs. But it really helps in change the thinking about different machine learning problems in a functional way. So, for example, for how to explain data scientist, what should you deliver to the to developers in order to make it deployed to production, for example. It could be a data scientist could deliver script, notebook, or something else, or program, just a program. And if we tell a data scientist, can you provide a function, a pure function without any side effects? It just has an input and output, so we can control what happens with that function in production, and we can optimize it accordingly. It really helps even in a communication level, because it's intuitively clear for everybody what function is. Everybody learned that in university, and so providing such kind of functional framework for everybody in a team, not even a data scientist, and for data engineers, in order to process that data, the data stream or data batch, you need to write a function with and you don't need to, and the less side effects you will have in that function, the less queries you will send from that function to the external databases, the easiest it will be easier to support and maintain that code in the future. So everything is based on a functional paradigm in our world. So yeah, this is a geekiest community in Bay Area. I would say for sure. I hang out in multiple meetups here. I talk to the people, and sometimes even if we have 10 people showing up on a meetup, these meetups are much more interesting than road shows with keynote speakers like Strata or whatever. So this narrow and very focused community is really driving things.